So first of all, I just really want to thank Elon for all of your hard work and your vision. This program would not have been possible without you and everything you've done, and my family and I are deeply grateful for your support and help. It's really wonderful to be here today. This is the third Jerusalem Symposium, and it's been quite remarkable to see the evolution of this program since our first symposium two years ago. The Symposium is an annual event that aims to offer high-level intellectual discourse on pressing issues in Israeli society from diverse political, ideological, and religious voices. It aims to provide an open learning environment to explore these issues and to really move beyond the practical issues that occupy much of the conversations around Israel and get to the underlying ideas lurking beneath the surface. It's exciting to see so many participants here today. This program is really built for you. The only thing that we ask is that you come with an open mind, that you come ready to engage, to challenge yourself, to think critically about these issues, and to take what you've learned here back to your communities and campuses, to open up what we hope will be a nuanced and more open conversation about Israel, about the challenges that we face, to create a much more authentic and real relationship both to our Jewish identities and to the state of Israel. A one-day program is necessarily limited in what it can accomplish. We hope that you get a lot of today's program, but we also, as Elon said, hope that you continue to interact with the fund. We're also offering some really wonderful follow-up opportunities for symposium participants that will be announced later on in the program, and we really hope that you continue to engage with us. I want to say a few quick words about my brother Avi. Avi's death sent ripples throughout the world, affecting countless people, both those who knew him and many who did not. His life and story have become an inspiration to many. It's been quite remarkable for my family and I to see just how many people he's been able to touch. Avi's story teaches us that one person, one individual, one young, animated, compassionate person has the power to change the world. If we understand that every interaction, that every person that we encounter, that every social interaction with somebody is an opportunity to leave a part of ourselves, a spark of our being with them, then we can understand how one person can change the world. How we, through that experience, through that interaction, color the world for others, and they in turn color it for us. And in that way, in a very real way then, at any moment, even if we're no longer physically here, our beings exist within the lives and thoughts and beliefs and experiences of all those with whom we have ever interacted. And so in that way, Avi's presence and Avi's spirit is here in the room with all of us and with all those people who have been touched by his story. The Greek mathematician and philosopher Archimedes once said, "Give me a solid place to stand and a lever large enough, and I will move the earth." Avi exemplified Archimedes' words. His beliefs and his values, his aspirations and his dreams were the solid ground upon which he stood. And his community, his friends and family, were the lever upon which he relied. And Avi was able to move the world. And through the Yoav Schaefer Fund and the projects that we're doing, and all of you, we continue to move the world for Avi. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for carrying Avi's memory with you. Thank you for honoring his memory and for helping us to make it an everlasting blessing. I want to say a few quick words about the topic. I know that we're running behind, so I'll speak quickly, and I apologize. There is perhaps no question more important and at the same time more controversial than what it means for Israel to be a Jewish state. The question really occupies two comprehensive realms. One is the political, the realm of political organization and institutional design. The other is in the reciprocal interaction between Judaism and nationalism. Israel was founded as a national homeland for the Jewish people, inspired very much by the ideas of national self-determination and national sovereignty. Most states in the world today are national states. Many, many states are ethnic national states founded to advance a particular interest, goals, character of a single particular national ethnic group. So in this sense, Israel is really not unique. Also, in this sense, Israel's legitimacy is fundamentally tied to the historical roots of nationalism and to the social services that the functions that these institutions serve. In many ways, it was the advent of the national state that allowed for things like popular sovereignty, the rule of law, individual rights, civil equality. Many of the rights and the things that we take for granted in the rest of the world was, in fact, an advent of the national state. But it will pose a question: what will happen if the national state itself becomes an anachronism? If ethnic nationalism or nationalism in general become no longer relevant? Will it therefore also be difficult to make the case for Zionism? Today, indeed, Israel's right to exist as a Jewish democratic state is certainly questioned. There are many, many people, including Jews and Israelis, for whom the idea of a Jewish state that is also a democratic state is not self-evident. For them, only when Israel relinquishes its unique Jewish character, only then will it be justified as a state. Because for them, the ideas of universal norms and human rights are simply incompatible with a unique Jewish character. And certainly, I think in a very real way, there is a tension between Judaism and democracy. The question is, does that tension prevent Israel from being a genuine democracy? Is there an inherent contradiction between recognizing the right of the Jewish people to self-determination in a state in which they constitute the majority that at the same time upholds fundamental rights for its non-Jewish minorities? This is a question that we will explore today. Providing a clear rationale for Israel's right to exist as both a Jewish state and a democratic state is vital to securing Israel's identity and future. In many ways, a state can only endure, it can only remain relevant if it can defend itself, not only militarily, not physically, but morally, if its legitimacy can be advocated for and reinforced. This is, of course, extremely relevant in the case of Israel in broad terms, but also specifically, I would say, in terms of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which impacts Israeli society and Jews everywhere, and something that we'll be exploring in one of the breakout sessions. The other part of the conversation is one about the relationship between nationalism and Judaism, which is a fascinating one. The accomplishments of Zionism have been remarkable. In many ways, they have shaped the modern Jewish condition. So we will explore how Zionism impacts diaspora Jews. Zionism might embolden diaspora Jews, but in many ways it might also impede them from creating a unique and equally substantial Jewish identity of their own. And I would pose a question: to what extent can we really say today that the success enjoyed by diaspora Jewry, the post-Holocaust diaspora Jewry, especially in North America, is less significant than that of Israel's? And I think it's an important question that I hope that Yoshua will help us clarify. We will explore the current reality of Israel, of Judaism in Israel, how the state monopoly of religion, the relationship between synagogue and state impacts Judaism. We will explore whether pluralism in Israel is possible given the absence of an open marketplace of ideas that was so critical to the diaspora experience. And we will explore whether the history of religious institutions in Europe and the corrupting influence that having political power had upon them, what that will mean for the future of Judaism in Israel. It will include a discussion of religious nationalism, looking at what it means to confer theological significance upon a state and its implications not only for ethics and morals, but also for collective social responsibility. And we will look at secular Zionism, the idea that Zionism has somehow normalized the Jews, that it has made us normal, and therefore it has righted the wrong of statelessness and expulsion. And whether a secular Jewish identity that is manifested in a linguistic and cultural experience can really replace a spiritual one, and whether that identity is sufficient to secure the Jewish future. Before I introduce Aleph Bet Yoshua, I want to pose two intentionally provocative questions. I know that Aleph Bet Yoshua is a very controversial speaker, and I hope that I can be a little controversial as well. The first question is as follows. To what extent can we today say that the future of Judaism in Israel, that perpetuating Jewish life in Israel, is a foregone conclusion. Given the significant threats Israel faces externally and the status of Judaism internally, why should we be so certain that Israel will sustain Jewish life? The second question is a little more complicated. Does positioning the national state, the nation state, as the most important innovation in Jewish history, does that uproot Judaism and challenge it? That is to say, is the state a means or an end unto itself? I'll explain further. Zionism in many ways confers intrinsic value upon the state. Okay? But something has intrinsic value when it exists for its own sake and not for something else. The state has value insofar as it creates the foundation for individual and communal rights. It has value insofar as it provides physical protection for its citizens and military and diplomatic aid to Jews all over the world, as well as a homeland or a safe haven in times of need. And it has value insofar as it promotes Jewish values, Jewish interests, Jewish character in the world. But does the state, as a political entity, in and of itself, have intrinsic value? Does it exist as an end unto itself, or as a means to something else? Do we, as the community, exist for the sake of the state, or does the state exist for our sake? Is intrinsic value derived from the people that make up the community, the citizens of the state and the Jewish people, or not? I hope that will make you think a little bit. The major idea that I've tried to open this up with, that I hope the speakers will help us clarify, is: does nationalism, does Zionism, does Jewish nationalism exist independent of Judaism? Does it supersede Judaism? Does it complement Judaism? Does it also challenge Judaism? And if we focus so much on the state, on the national experience, do we lose sight of of the bigger, more important thing, which is Judaism itself? So, with those questions, it is my distinct honor to invite up to the stage somebody who needs no introduction. His bio is in the book. I just want to thank Alafet Yoshua for being with us today. It is a real honor to have you. You have been one of the nicest people I've ever met and interacted with, and I am so excited to have you with us today and to hear what you have to say. So, thank you.